Whispers from the battlefield. History remembers the battles, but the battlefield remembers the whispers. Footsteps in the mud, letters never sent, courage found in the smallest hands, and moments that changed everything in the space of a single breath. These are their stories, forgotten by time, but not by us. The ridge was quiet, too quiet. Union skirmishers moved forward, boots sinking into frozen mud. Then one Confederate rifle cracked, just one. Private Eli Turner felt the bullet before he heard it. A burning punch stole his breath. He dropped to his knees, staring at the gray morning sky. His last thought wasn't fear. It was his mother's voice, calling him in for supper back home in Ohio. War doesn't always end with a charge. Sometimes it ends with a single step too far. Eli Turner took his last on that quiet ridge. But not every story ends in silence. Some echo through the ranks with the beat of a drum. The line was breaking. Men were falling back through smoke and mud. But 12-year-old drummer boy Caleb Ward didn't move. He planted his feet and kept beating the long roll. Confederate fire tore through the trees. Officers screamed for him to run. He didn't, because the men behind him needed that rhythm more than he needed safety. When the smoke cleared, the drummer was gone, but his beat carried the regiment off that field. Courage doesn't always hold a rifle. Sometimes it holds a drum. And sometimes the bravest thing a soldier carried was a letter home. Private Samuel Hayes wrote by lantern light, ink shaking as artillery thundered in the distance. "Dear Anna," he wrote, "I don't know what tomorrow brings, but know that you were my peace in a world without any." He folded the letter, slipped it into his coat, promised himself he'd mail it after the battle. But morning came with smoke and shouting and the roar of cannon fire. Samuel never left the field. Weeks later, a burial detail found the letter still tucked against his heart. Anna received it from a stranger's hand, a final message from a voice she would never hear again. Some letters reach home. Others become the only piece of a soldier that does. And then there are the stories that refuse to stay buried. Stories that walk the roads long after the guns fall silent. After Antietam, the road to Sharpsburg was quiet. Too quiet. A lone Union courier rode at dusk, delivering orders to the front. Fog rolled across the road, thick as smoke. Through the haze, he saw a figure walking, a soldier in torn gray, head down, rifle dragging in the dirt. The courier slowed, called out. No answer. As he drew closer, the figure lifted his face. Eyes hollow. Uniform soaked in blood that didn't shine, didn't move, didn't drip. The courier blinked, and the figure vanished. Only footprints remained in the dust, fresh, deep, leading nowhere. Some say the dead of Antietam still walk that road, looking for a regiment that will never form again. The Civil War was more than battles. It was footsteps, whispers, letters, and echoes. Stories of courage, stories of loss, stories of boys and men who stepped into history and never stepped back out. If you want more forgotten moments like these, subscribe to War Stories and Shadows, because the past isn't silent. You just have to listen.